Once upon a time, the world was dull, with only books, art, and other physical voodoo that everyone else does, that we call oldies now because it was the generation of our ancestors and, well, old people. But the dull generation had hope and prodigies from all over the world, produced technology and more electrical voodoo things that suffices every people's easy way of life. Here enter the computers, phones, Walkmen, and all of the above. All we could do with computers were compute. All we could do with phones were call and text. Yet we always yearned for more. That was until a child was born from Tim Berners-Lee's computers and papers and mind. His name was Kim Thornet. You see, 12-year-old Kim Thornet was the biggest child nerd in the world. He knows almost everything. But you had to buy a computer and an LAN connection to actually chat and gain info from him. He was such a nerd that everybody needed and yearned for his knowledge. Anyone that could afford a computer bought everything needed to gain access with Kin. Of course, Kin was just human, so he was so slow in replying to them all. But his dad, Tim, always trained him to do what's best and what's more efficient as he grew up. Kin called his capabilities as Web 1.0, since a spider's web has a lot of connections leading to one center, and that center is Kin. When Kin was 17 years old, he lost his father. But that's okay, because he applied what he learned and he actually grew better, naming that improvement as Web 2.0. This time, he didn't only want to lay out his information to the world, he also wants others to lay out their information to the world. With the help of Tim's other lackeys, they made improvements and updates on his software, making sharing, posting, and interaction possible. But that also had its drawbacks and consequences, like trolls, spam, and the most painful of them all, cybercrimes and bullying. At the other side, however, it has graced us with more information, social media, and online monetization. And lastly, at that time, everyone yearned for him so much that he couldn't do it alone anymore. So he bored children to help him up with his duties. Don't ask me how he bored children. Kim Thornet was and always will be weird. He named his first child Explorer, but I think he was a mistake because he was as low as who Kin was and nobody notices him now. Poor kid. Then he adopted a child named Google who helped people search for what they want and direct them to that piece of information. The second child is Mozilla. He was an okay child, neutral, not too good, not too bad. He's a bit faster than Explorer though. The third and fourth children were Safari and Opera, who were now on their separate ways. Safari worked for Apple and is still successful now. Opera, however, was deemed as a failure and was replaced by Google from the Android company. And then Google had a son named Chrome, who was the most loved and successful of them all, up to this date. And since Kim Thornet has so many supporters and help and everyone wanted more from his success, with the help of everyone, Kin was on the verge of developing Web 3.0 with so much more improvements on the way, like machine-to-machine interaction, a more sensible search engine because best, really, and many other updates that we have yet to hear from. Anyhow, Kin is definitely in his A game along with his other companies. He's the one, along with Tim Berners, that led us to the new generation called the Millennials, and will never stop growing.